Okay, welcome back to the channel, and today we are going to be making white sparkles. So, you already know the routine for the rubber stars. Potassium perchlorate, 0.83, blah, fuck, do not do that. 0.38 potassium perchlorate, 0.38 magnesium, 0.14 parlon, and 0.05 red gum. Now, the observant will know that those are our basic pieces of combustion there, but there's no color. So this is going to be a very bright color when it burns, and it's going to be colorless. So we are going to break every rule I've set so far and add 0.05 titanium Sorry, I got the hiccups for some reason. 0.05 titanium granules to this batch. So we'll get a bright white color from our combustion, and then when we add in the titanium, it's going to add kind of white sparkling to it. Whereas if you leave out the titanium, you're just going to get flat white. So, as per ever, I've already pre-mixed everything because this is a professional cooking show. So we start with 3.04 of potassium perchlorate, 3.04 magnesium, 1.12 of parlon, and 0.4 of red gum. Now, you'll notice we're about 0.4, 0.5 away from our 8-ounce batch. That is going to be our titanium granules. And that is what half an ounce of titanium looks like in a Dixie cup. However, it does not like to go through the screen, and we want to avoid metal on metal as much as possible. So we are actually going to leave that out for now until the mixing is done. There's not a whole lot of them. They're not going to take very long to mix in, but we don't want to be grinding metal granules on a metal screen with a metal spoon, because that would be inviting disaster. Oh, there are little feathered Indians on the inside of her thigh, from my belt buckle where we tussled through the night. If I'd known she was religious, then I wouldn't have came stoned to the house of such an angel, too fucked up to get back home. Looking over West Virginia, smoking spirits on the roof, she said, ain't anybody told you that them things is bad for you? I said, many folks have warned me. There's been several people try, but up till now I ain't had nothing that I couldn't leave behind. Hold me close, my dear. Sing your whispering song softly in my ear, and I will be alone. Oh, tell me how your love runs true, how I can always count on you. Be there when bullets fly, I'd run across the river just to hold you tonight. Well, my heart is sweating bullets from the circus it hath raised, just like the little feathered Indians coming out across. I go running through the thicket, I go careless through the corn, just to hold her for a minute, though it leave me wanting more. Hold me close, my dear. Sing your whispering song softly And I will drink no more. Oh, tell me how your love runs true. How I can always count on you. Be there when bullets fly. Run across the river just to hold you. Okay, so back where we left off, we'll go ahead and weigh out our granules. We can go ahead and mixy. Because again, there's a good chance that the titanium would just get, filtered out. But there's also a sparking hazard there, so we really don't want to do that. It's part of the reason I use a glass bowl. Glass is non-sparking. You could use plastic if you really wanted to. I just don't want to. Okay. Almost exactly 0.5 of our titanium granules. So that puts us at our 8-ounce batch. And something I suppose is worth noting is that if you're not real sure if you got this right, you can actually take one of these and light them before they're completely dry. They will burn because, if you'll remember, they've got acetone in them, which will burn just like everything else. So if you wanted to see what color it was, or you wanted to see if you want to adjust the recipe, you can test one. And then come back in here and make your adulterations to the rest of your batch. There we go. You can just see it kind of caving into itself. So we will go ahead and mix these like normal. But then the thing is we did a dry mix, which should get the titanium pretty evenly distributed. But also as we knead, we'll really be able to see where the titanium is. Apparently I'm just gonna make rhymes all day, call me a rapper. About to drop my mixtape and get my rapping career on the way. And this stuff is pretty thick. Damn, boy, she's thick. I mean, I don't see any titanium granules in the bottom, so I guess it is pretty convincing. So yeah, this is a little bit thinner than I would like it to be. Maybe I didn't add enough Parlon, maybe I added a little bit too much acetone. Who knows? And so we will knead it until it reaches the consistency I want, which will help spread out the titanium. And it is already starting to thicken up nicely. About the consistency of Play-Doh. And I can't see any granules in it, so it looks like we're good. Get out the old hot prime. Take out my silica for now. I say it is pretty wet. You can see that color change on that hot prime like as soon as it touches. I wonder. Yes, you can move it. The secret is move it before you take the wax paper off. Noted. I wonder if I just skip straight to this, we can get kind of less dust. Also occurs to me I was rolling in the wrong direction. Top layer of wires goes this way. And if something goes wrong or you don't like how they turned out, then this is still wet and you can still crush them all back together. There's no rule saying it's one and done. We already reloaded our sprayer. A little bit more denatured alcohol. Nice and wet. Yeah, that is what happened. They got too wet because I see a couple of them kind of sticking together again. So we're gonna need a couple of tablespoons to dry that up. I am pretty happy with the color of that, actually. There is some extra prime kind of stuck down in the sides here, but cost of doing business, I guess. Again, that'll be scraped off and will burn rather spectacularly when it goes in the burn barrel. So, it's ready for the drying. Yeah, I prefer the spoon. You could probably do this by hand. I prefer the spoon. If they're sticking together, a comb will actually do wonders. I usually have to do that with black powder. I normally don't have to do that with stars. Except for these ones that are kind of forming these humongous chunks. But you know what? I reckon that'll be just fine. They'll burn a little longer. Well, so whenever you're setting the height of your shell detonating, then what you really want is high enough, just high enough, everything burns out before it touches the ground. That's kind of the line we're aiming for. My first year putting on a fireworks display, I made the mistake of, I timed mine. I realized that they fly for about 8 seconds. And so I timed mine for 4 seconds, thinking you wanted it to burst as high up as possible. Well, that's great if you're trying to take out aircraft. It is not great if you want a good fireworks show, because they get so high up and then they burst that even though they look, even though they are really impressive, because a normal store-bought shell is only 1 3/4 inch diameter, where these shells are 3-inch diameter. So, for point of reference here, it's store-bought shells are this big. These shells are this big. And as you know, to find volume of a circle, it's pi times diameter. So you end up getting way more stars in a 3-inch shell, more than twice what you get in a 1.75. But they were blowing up so high, they actually looked like they were about the same size. So this year, we've learned from the lesson, we'll get them much closer to the ground, and they will look much more impressive. Can't wait for the 4th of July this year. This is like my family's Christmas. So I will see you when these come out of the drying chamber.